Okay. Greeting, fellow Toastmasters. Tonight, it's Toastmasters, Golden Speakers. We meet every Tuesday evening, 7:40 to 9 o'clock. And we're now stating where we're meeting, which is at the Fairfield Business Park. It's just north on Highway 1. The address is 1680 Highway 1 North. It's the Old Books Are Fun building, if that rings any bells for particularly our viewers at home. It is a secure building, so we recommend that you be here really on time between 7:30 and 7:40, because once the meeting starts, you won't be able to get in. You can also give me a call at the number that'll be at the end of this video and let me know you're coming, and we'll keep an eye out for you. A Toastmasters Club, the mission of a Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and growth. This is our last meeting this week of the 2018-2019 Toastmaster season. And I did look on our Distinguished Club Program breakout, and we are finishing this year at Select Distinguished, which is the second highest level in the Toastmaster Club achievement. So I'm feeling really good about that we've made that, and we have some heroes, Hudaifa, CC's, and Dan, and we just had a number of people that really pulled together. And by the way, Hudaifa, we have to get you to submit you have to request, your level 1 completion.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so and then I get a notification, I'm thinking about it, and then I go, yes, and then the level 2 opens up for you.
Okay.
Touch base with Carmen. Carmen has gotten that. We did have a meeting a couple weeks ago that had a bunch of points, and so Carmen had a talk with Lisa and just figured out.
Because you said, I know that, but you said I don't want to submit that before July 1st.
Exactly. Well, what happens is that we can do that so that your level 2 opens up, but it doesn't get submitted until I do step number 2.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, which is really good. That's very good. Okay. So this is my last meeting as the president. We can sigh relief. And next week we will have our officer induction. So let's go ahead, now that we have everyone here, let's go ahead and have our Toastmaster, who we don't have. So let's see, who can we have as a Toastmaster? Who do we have Hudaifa doing? Hudaifa, you are doing Table Topics Evaluator. Can you handle handle Toastmaster? Yeah. Okay, so I love that, instantaneous flexibility. All right, so let's welcome up our Toastmaster.
Our theme tonight, fellow Toastmasters, viewers at home, is look at the window. It's rainy days, infinite rainy days, or it's snowing days. And when it rains, on your parade, look up rather than down. Without the rain, there would be no rainbow. Gilbert Chesterton.
What's that?
Chesterton.
Yeah.
Good name.
Yeah.
I will start with introducing our role players.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Our timer is Dan Craig.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, my job as timer tonight is to keep track of all of the speaking roles that occur. We have 3 main categories. We're going to have a prepared speech, which is going to be 5 to 7? No, 4 to 6. It's an icebreaker. For that speech, Green light will come on at 4 minutes, the yellow at 5, and the red light at 6. Then for evaluations, these will be 2 to 3 minutes, with the green light at 2 minutes, the yellow light at 2.5, and the red light at 3. Then later we're going to have table topics, which will have 1 to 2 minute intervals. 1 minute is the green light, 1.5 is the yellow light, and the red light comes on at 2 minutes. In all cases, after the red light, there's a 30-second grace period for the person to finish up. I'll keep track and I'll give a report at the end of the meeting.
Thank you. All right.
Our grammarian for tonight is Art.
In my role as grammarian, I have two functions. One is to listen for particularly graceful use of English, or perhaps if there's something that's awkward, to report on that. And the second part of my role is to present the word of the evening and listen for those who use it. The word of the evening is penchant, a noun. It means having a strong liking or inclination towards a thing. An example sentence would be, on rainy days, I have a penchant for hot cups of chai and dark chocolate-covered raisins.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Carmen Anticona will be our accounter.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, viewers at home. Today I'm gonna make sure to take into account these fill-out words that we usually speak in a speech, like am, like, you know, so, but, and, tongue click zeros and false start. And I'm going to give my report at the end of the meeting.
Thank you. Later we will hear from the General Evaluator, Greeter and Toastmaster, Jean Symington Craig. At this moment I will call the evaluator of our speaker today, Mr. Peter Armstrong, to introduce the speaker.
Today's speaker is speaking in the topic presentation skills, path. Speech is an icebreaker speech. And the purpose of the icebreaker is to introduce the speaker. The speaker introduces himself in this case, and for us to get to know something about the speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Veda Royale.
Yes. No, you should give it to the Toastmaster.
Toastmaster.
Oh, I have to give it
Toastmaster.
back to the...
Yeah.
To the Toastmaster, and he should read the name of the speech off the
Yeah, we're doing it.
What's that?
So
speech.
you
I'll
read
put-
the objective. Did you read the objectives, Peter?
He did read the
I
objective.
read the objectives
Let
as
me
I
put
have
down
them
the
here.
title for Who Died for Thou. Okay, here is the name of myself and the title for you to announce.
And then he will call me, I'll call Veda.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You will see me often more
Oh,
time.
what about the introduction? Give him the
He did
introduction.
not
to
read
the-
the
Oh,
introduction.
I should have done the
No,
introduction.
no.
No.
'Cause what we're doing, just to clarify, our evaluators are just gonna read the objectives so the audience knows what's the speech,
Okay.
and then hands it back to the Toastmaster. Toastmaster introduces and
The introduction's at the
The
bottom.
introduction's at the bottom.
This one, this part.
Yes, about the speaker.
about the speech.
About the speaker.
You can just make it up if you can't read it.
You can cut that. Okay. Production phase. Our speaker tonight is Veda Royal. His title, or his speech title is 13 rooms.
3.
Oh, 3. Okay, there's one here. 3 rooms. Veda Royal lived in Fairfield for 30 years. Oh, when I was 6 years. Businessman.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur. And massage therapist. Okay, sorry for that, Rafael. I'm not good in reading. Please help me welcome Veda to hear from him his icebreaker speech. He will tell us more about himself. Thank you.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, viewers at home, tonight I'll be giving the icebreaker speech, which is very challenging. I've been working on it for months because it's not easy to talk about yourself. In fact, if I start talking about myself, I'll not finish in 5 minutes. So I've decided to boil it down to my dream house. And not just all the rooms in my dream house, because that would take approximately 25 minutes, but just 3 rooms. And to symbolize these 3 rooms, I brought my props. Now, the first room that I'd like to talk about is my meditation room. And for that I brought my incense holder and my incense and my gigantic match lighter. Now, I lived on campus for 6 years. In fact, I went to Maharishi University 30 years ago, and that brought me here because of my interest in meditation, which started in 7th grade. My entire family started meditation in 7th grade, and it led me to pursue not only meditation, but a degree in business from the university here. And when I was living on campus recently, about 5 years ago, I was sitting, my room was next to a meditation room. So I loved to have a meditation room, and I'd go in there. If I didn't meditate with everybody else, I'd go in there for a couple of hours a day, nice and cozy. So I would definitely have a meditation room in my dream house. The next room I'd like to talk about is the music room. So to symbolize music, I've brought my recorder, but I have a variety of small instruments, but this goes back to my childhood also. When I was in 4th grade, my entire family had been in music, and I had peer and parental pressure to join the band and pick out an instrument. My sister had played violin, my brother had played trombone, and I picked out the clarinet to be different. So this is sort of like a clarinet. Now, I also played piano. So in my music room, I'd have a piano, I'd have my clarinet, and just for kicks, I have a trombone and a violin. Can't get much sound out of those 2 instruments, but enough to entertain myself if the neighbors can't hear. However, I can belt out a good tune on the clarinet or do a great Beatles rendition on the keyboard or piano. My brother is 5 years older than me, and he became a professional musician. And my sister still plays violin to this day. So I can think of them fondly when I play those instruments. The last room in my house, my dream house, I couldn't get the whole massage table up there. So I decided to bring the headrest. Now, because of my interest in healing arts, my intuition, I'd say since I was a child, started to increase in certain ways, and I could sense energy, but I didn't start to do anything with that until about 20 years ago, when I discovered I had some healing abilities, which led me eventually to become a massage therapist. It's not a full-time job, but it's a great hobby of mine. I do have a license, and I can do a few massages a week. In my current apartment, I have a massage therapy room, and it's really very quiet and relaxing. I can either exchange with friends or have clients up. It has soft glowing salt lamps and a quiet, relaxing atmosphere. I can have quiet music or ocean waves going and practice my healing arts. So that's just a short introduction to some of my interests and what my home, besides my bedroom, my other 3 rooms in my house would consist of. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. I hope something missing. Mr. Timer, 2 minutes for evaluating. Is the speaker qualified?
Yes.
Okay, great. We don't have to vote. We only have one speaker. At this moment, I will call the general evaluator, Jean Symington Craig,
Okay,
to call the evaluator.
great, thank you. See, I've gotten out of practice.
Yeah.
All right. Has our evaluator had enough time? Do you need a little more time?
Barely, but
You want to go now, or do you want to go after table topics?
I'll see how I do now.
Okay. That was very interesting from Veda's perspective. Who knew he had all those rooms? It makes me want to wonder what other rooms there are in the
There are
mansion.
22 more.
Okay. I mean, you know, this is like, it's a great way to describe. But anyway, I will introduce Veda's evaluator, Peter Armstrong.
Thank you.
Good evening, Toastmasters and viewers at home. Veda has told us about himself by telling us about his house, or his dream house. And having just discovered that there are 22 more rooms in the house, we know that there's enough material here for another 7 speeches at 3 rooms per evening. So we look forward to hearing about the other rooms in your house, Veda. The organization of the speech was around the discussion of the house. It was very clear. And at first I was thinking, oh no, Veda wasn't telling us about himself, but of course he was. Because in each room has a content, and the music room, we were told about Veda's musical instruments, and you know, it all did what it was supposed to do. So good organization. Delivery, your delivery is fine. As a longer-term Toastmaster, you've mastered a lot of the pieces of giving a speech, and it shows. the volume you hold that is good, the holding of attention, of the other group's attention is excellent. Most of the time you speak easily. As a suggestion, I would say that there were a few pauses where you picked up the thread of what you were planning to say, what Veda was planning to say. I'm switching back and forth. I'm trying to stay in the third person, but I keep forgetting. So just, I'll try to be good about that. So Veda told us about himself, and he spoke easily, except that there were a few pauses where, between sections mostly, in the speech. Let's see. I think I've said everything.
How can you fix that? What suggestion
Oh,
would you have?
the suggestion would be to practice, to run through the speech yourself, one or two more times, until it flows more naturally. And that's my evaluation.
All right, just to keep it rolling, thank you, Peter, very much for that. We're gonna call up our table topics master. And I'll just go ahead and do it, so we'll just, hopping around. But so, that would be D. Christopher, table topics master.
So since the theme of the day is rainy days, I want you to take yourself back when you were a child. It was raining outside. And all you had was a mirror to look into. And improvise a fun thing to do for yourself. So I have some topics here, and they're a little bit strange. But I think you can use your creativity to imagine a rainy day. You're a child, and there's nothing else to do except there's a mirror in the house. So can I have a volunteer? Peter. Pick a card.
I'll take the top.
Okay. Just imagine yourself as a 10-year-old, 5-year-old, and you're a mirror.
I am a mirror?
You're a mirror.
And what is the question?
How would you express yourself as a mirror?
Visually. All right.
Or how would you describe yourself as a mirror?
If I'm pretending to be a mirror, fellow Toastmasters, viewers at home, I'm going to go as far as I can with this, and then we will see. I may switch topics and have another topic in the middle. If I am pretending to be a mirror, then I have to reflect what's in front of me. And I'm trying to figure out how I would do that if a bed was in front of me, or a desk, or something. I could take a card, or a big poster board, if I could find one in the house. Mom, do we have a poster board? And use a magic marker to draw the bed on myself, on the poster held up in front of myself. If I had a playmate over, which I would try to arrange on a rainy day, I would not be by myself, but then I could mimic whatever my friend was doing. And the friend could try to trip me up or get me to do something that I wasn't able to do, like stand on his hands for 10 seconds or whatever. And
That's what I would do.
Next. Okay.
He should read.
Describe yourself as a chair.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters. There are many varieties of chairs. We're sitting on chairs right now. However, this would not be me as a chair. For me, as a chair, first of all, it's going to be something where you can really stretch out. And I'm going to have my legs be able to go all the way out, more like a chaise lounge, which is a little bit of an extrapolation on a chair, but it's still something that you're sitting in. And I'm going to have really cushy, comfy arms right here. Wide, so you can, if you want to, you can lean over if you feel a little tired and just kind of take a little nap right there on your chair. The fabric, very detailed and embroidered. It's going to go all out. It's when you sit in on me as a chair, you're going to feel like royalty because that's the experience I give as a chair. It's also going to be able to, I said you can stretch out, but you can also tilt forward. I think I'm thinking of a recliner type chair. So if you'd like to sit up and practice your posture, you can do that too. But if you really just want to luxuriate, you can put it back. And it's going to have a little pocket on the side where you could put all the books that you're reading or your Kindle and anything else that you'd like to have handy. That would be me as a chair. And because I look so gorgeous as a chair, I'm going to make sure Peter is there being the mirror so that he can reflect back to me how great it all looks.
Thank you. Who else would like a piece of furniture? Volunteers? Anyone?
If you want to go, I can do yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Carmen?
Carmen.
Oh, this is a good one. How would you describe yourself as a briefcase? There's a lot of material there.
Fellow Toastmasters, viewers at home. Carmen as a briefcase will be a really nice and pretty good and fashion briefcase. It's gonna be for women that are gonna be entrepreneurs, they are going to aspire to be really a millionaire. So me as a briefcase is gonna give you a sign of have a lot of money and having a lot of it's gonna be pink, so it's gonna have a lot of fashion. One side pink, the other side purple, so that's the perfect combination. And also it's gonna be like a little bit of sparkling, like let's see, which color do I like silver sparkling. So anyone that sees me as a briefcase is gonna be in love. It's gonna love me. It doesn't matter that it's a man or women. I'm not actually jealous of nothing. So it's gonna be really good. So if you wanna buy me, it's gonna cost you a lot of money. Just be aware of that. But if you buy me, you are gonna have the whole world. The whole world is gonna be on the spotlight, and you are gonna be the famous of the whole world when you are having me. Thank you.
That raises the bar.
Yeah.
I have a couple more here. I know these are a little strange. But, you know, improvise. Any other volunteers here? People are thinking, uh-oh, what's up next? These two are actually good ones. They're left. No, they're... Any volunteers?
Dan?
I'll give it a,
Gar?
I'll
Yeah,
give it a try.
okay.
Read it aloud to me.
Okay, how would you describe yourself as a door? It opens and closes.
It's adorable.
Fellow Toastmasters, guests at home, my stance as a door is wide open. So that the poor kids, cooped up inside the house, with nothing but mirrors and desks and beds and briefcases to look at, can rush outside while it's still raining, and they can lie down in the gutters and have warm rainwater rushing over them, and they can luxuriate in the thunder and lightning that's crashing down around the house, and have an absolute blast while the warm water lasts. The water being warmed up by the hot concrete of the roadway and the gutters. I have a special penchant for this memory because I got to enjoy such an experience myself many times in Tacoma Park, Maryland when I was in first grade. It would regularly rain in the afternoons and provide this sort of an opportunity. And we lived at 413 Circle Avenue at the bottom of a hill, so the whole hill had a chance for the gutters to get filled up with water and rush down towards the bottom of the hill, where we would plant ourselves. That's my stance as a door, wide open to permit this kind of experience for little children.
Okay.
That's a tabletop experience.
Have one more?
Yeah, time.
Anybody want to give it a shot? Give me to read it first, then you can decide.
Dan, you want one?
I'll do it, but if somebody else feels to do it.
He's got multiple.
This is the
hands.
one that has a lot of things you can
I'll come do
play
your,
with.
I'll come do your, or do you want to do it?
He needs two actually, one for the camera,
One
one
for
for the time.
he's juggling timer
Oh.
and camera.
Someone else has to do the timer.
And I will give the speech.
Okay. Here we go. Let's see.
Thank you. How would you describe yourself as a chair? That is something to sit on.
Didn't we do a
That's
chair
been done.
already?
We did it.
You did chair?
Yeah.
I was the
Oh,
fabulous
his chair.
The chaise
I'm
lounge.
sorry.
The chaise
A
lounge.
briefcase.
Slash recon-
No,
Briefcase.
Briefcase. A mirror. No, we did that. Table?
Table.
No,
Haven't done
table.
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 Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Read it again.
Table. How would you describe yourself as a table?
Okay.
Mr. Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters. As a table, I think what I would like to go for would be an elegant, long dining table. So imagine me with 4 legs,
You're quiet.
and I'm made out of walnut. and very nicely laid into a frame of walnut is a good heavy piece of glass. It's I'm a long table. There's enough room to seat about 16 people, counting the ends. Maybe we need 6 legs on my,
Probably safer.
just to be safe. The other feature that you'll notice when you look at me in the grand dining room, this is one of Veda's rooms that he hasn't made it to.
Oh no, did it break?
No.
There it is, okay,
The table
Those things-
was broken.
okay, go ahead.
Yes. One of the features of me as I sit in this grand dining room is the marquetry around that edge where the glass is inlaid. There's beautiful marquetry, which is gold leaf, which is laid into the walnut and finally polished, so it's just a beautiful smooth surface.
Yellow.
Okay, yellow leaf instead of gold. But you can see that I have a penchant for a little bit of luxury in my dressing of myself as a table. And I believe that gives you the flavor that I'm trying to convey. Thank you.
It's very sophisticated for a 10-year-old.
Do you want to evaluate her back up? Or what's
Um,
next?
Why don't you just call up our
Yeah.
tabletop evaluator? That was a lot. Hudak, are you okay
Yeah.
with that?
Hadiva, tabletop evaluator?
What about the qualified?
Oh,
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
do that. No
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Okay, you'll do that, okay.
Mr. Timer, you're ready?
I thought you might ask me that.
Yeah.
The qualifiers were everyone that spoke, assuming I qualified.
You did.
That was Peter, Jean, Carmen, Art, and Dan. If we want to, do we want to vote, Mr.?
Yeah.
Sure.
Again, names again?
Peter, Jean, Carmen, Art, and Dan.
Fellow Toastmasters, viewers at home, our speakers tonight. I'll start with Peter. Mirror. No, we give it to you have good speech. You were the first one, so everyone had an opportunity to think about or imagining ourselves. What if I am a shelf? What if I am a TV or something, or maybe whiteboard? So it was harder for you, but you also lost an opportunity. 30 seconds, you can just relax and think about the answer before you start. And also 3 seconds of greeting audience will give you also another opportunity. Other than that, you're a nice mirror. Yeah, and you reflect what's in front of you. You do not have anything from inner. And then we have, but you have used gestures in very efficient way. Yeah. Jean, chairman. Jean greeted the audience and she used the opportunity to think for a couple of seconds before she starts. And then I will give her a point for that, and then I will,
Take it away.
yeah. She used the staging step right to show what's a chair and to show, because here we'll not see everything, the whole body. But then she stepped here. She did not return back. So the stage is, yeah. Because otherwise, the other things it was about hand gestures. But she was very detailed about every aspect when she talked about the fabric, except the weight, maybe, what's the allowed weight. And also she had very good eye contact with everyone. Carmen, briefcase. She also greeted audience and she thought or get the opportunity to think about the answer before she started. But she spent the whole 2 minutes speaking about outside, and then she said, I am very expensive. But she did not describe what's inside, so to be expensive. Yeah, so using the staging could give you extra credit to forget about what's inside, because you described outside and we didn't see you outside, how you were moving before we pay that expensive price. And Art as a door. Art was, he's an expert, and usually it's hard to give him a suggestion or something wrong. He started with thinking about silence, about the question. He greeted the audience, and he's the only one maybe combined the answer of the question with the theme, where D actually started the table topics with saying, it's raining day, everyone is inside. So he's the only one linked that with the theme and said, okay, I'm a door, I have the opportunity to be inside and outside. Finally, we have Dan, table. He also, good thing he spent 30 seconds or some. He greeted the audience. He was precise about describing details of the table, what to describe himself for us. And he was giving details about even this little gold banner or something. And he was actually responsive table with ours, or with what's happening here. And since he's a table, I will not count using stage for him, because table is static, does not move. I will hand the meeting to the... Who is now? Before that, I will ask the timer, which evaluator is
I would do that.
qualified? Okay, okay, so I'll hand the meeting to the general evaluator and he will do that. She will do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Timer, we had 2 evaluators this
Peter
evening.
qualified.
Peter qualified, Hudaifa did not qualify?
Correct.
So he had 3 to 4, right?
Right.
Okay. Alrighty. So there we go, that's Peter's, our evaluator for the evening. Alright. I have a penchant for people coming in on time so that we have contestants for things. So that's just my piece, but that's alright. The diaper's a little rusty. You got that all sorted out?
What's that?
You figured out who's...
Yeah.
Okay, good. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and give our reports. Mr. Timer, Dan Craig, would you please give us your timer's report?
Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, Veda spoke for 5 minutes 19 in table topics. Peter did 1 minute 37, Jean 1 minute 51, Carmen 1 minute 46, Art 1 minute 41, and I cleared the clock before I saw what my time was, but it was somewhere.
It was 2 minutes 15, 17, something like that.
Speech evaluators, Peter was 2 minutes 46, and Hudaifa was 4 minutes 58.
Thank you. Now our grammarian, Art Atkinson.
So the word of the evening has gotten a bit of use. I used it, Dan used it, Jean used it. I was really struck with how cleverly Peter responded to D with his interjection right back. He said, I would respond visually. I was intrigued that Dan pulled out this somewhat obscure word, marquetry, in describing the details of this large dining table. And Veda used a phrase that was just a bit awkward and probably isn't what he meant, but you said the whole family started to meditate in 7th grade.
Yeah.
When you were in 7th grade, it was, I'm sure, what you meant.
Yeah, I did that too.
That's my report.
Thank you. Our eye counter, Carmen. Yeah, good.
My report for today is Jean, one you know. Veda, I was just so interested in your speech that I didn't put anything in my counter paper, so you are clean. Peter, 1A, 3 arms. D, I didn't hear anything. Clean. Hudaifa, 1 saw, 1 an. Dan, clean. Carmen, me, I know 1 like, at least. Art, clean. That's my report.
And now, standing in for me, for Joke Master, is Dan Craig.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, for that nice surprise. A doctor was going to a party. He got there and he saw a fellow he knew who was a lawyer. They got into a nice long discussion. It was a very busy party. They were talking, and people would start to come up to the doctor and say, "Hey doc, great to see you. You know, I hurt my wrist the other day and I wonder what you think I ought to do." You know, asking, what he would suggest. And they're having the lawyer and the doctor having their talk. And over the course of an hour, more and more people came up. My stomach hurts a little bit. What do you think I ought to do, doc? Or my legs give me a little trouble. And finally, after an hour, the doctor just stroked his hand and he said to the lawyer, he said, "What do you do about people that come up to you in public and ask for advice?" And the lawyer said, "I give it to them, and then I send them a bill." And the doctor was just shocked, had never thought of that. But anyway, a few days later, he's doing his billing, and he's thinking, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna send bills to those people. So he gets them all written out. He's walking to the mailbox. He's feeling a little funny about it still, and he opens up the box, and there's a bill from the lawyer.
That was funny. That was quite funny.
That was large.
All right. I'll just do a quick general evaluator report on the evaluators. First I had Peter, then we had Hudaifa. Peter gave positives to Veda, always wanted to be supportive and motivating. So he commended Veda on good organization And he also gave examples of just how the organization happened through having these rooms. Also expressed some enthusiasm for what else are in the other rooms. So that was making Veda feel good. Peter gave a suggestion that there were some pauses, losing the thread. The suggestion for Peter, and it's for all of us, is he gave a very well-rounded evaluation. If you do mention a problem or a suggestion, a problem or something that you'd like to shift, which of course is our job as evaluators, you always want to at the same time be thinking of a solution to recommend to the speaker for fixing it. So we got that. So your recommendation was to practice a little bit more, so those gaps aren't there. Hudaifa had 5 table topics to evaluate. I was very impressed with Hudaifa because, with one exception, at least unless I missed it, he gave very helpful suggestions for everyone. 3 seconds about Peter, 3-second greeting, maybe to add that, and 30 seconds, you have up to 30 seconds to organize. He just had really targeted suggestions. Told me to, if I lie on the chair, but then I want to keep talking, I got to get off of the chair and come over. That was very good. And he had humor throughout. My one suggestion to Hudaifa was that I don't think he gave a suggestion for art. He gave a really good point about how art linked the door with the theme of the day, rainy days, which I had kind of forgotten about. So that, again, is good evaluation critique. Art, did you mean to do that?
Did I hear him do it?
Did you mean to roll in the theme of rainy days into your table
Absolutely.
topics? Okay. So it was all intentional, and Hudaifa pointed that out. Very, very good. So that would be my one. I didn't hear a suggestion for art. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
there is no suggestion.
he's good. So that's what we always want to do. We always want to find, I know art's slippery.
Can you
It's
find?
hard to find something to go with art. You know, but you got to work at it.
Well, I can come up with something.
Yeah.
What?
Get up out of your chair and go to the podium to speak.
Well, you know, we all have our little thing. I mean, I can't clap very well, so we work around it. But no, I don't. You know, we'd have to come up with something inherent in your speech. I believe you even had used the word of the day,
He did.
penchant.
Pension.
So yeah, so he's a stretch, but you have to try to find something for art. Otherwise, he goes home and he's not satisfied.
Maybe he is. That is.
All right, and that's my report. We'll go ahead and have our Toastmaster hand out the meeting awards. Okay.
Best evaluator. We have only one.
Peter.
So it's for Peter.
Peter.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Hudaifa.
Thank you. And for the best table topic, speaker, Carmen.
I think what I enjoyed about your table topics most, Carmen, was just the sheer enthusiasm with which you delivered them.
I know.
It was
She likes
it
to
was
be
standout.
No,
She really took it
I
up.
was
the
feeling
energy.
Yeah.
like I was a briefcase.
Yeah.
You can imagine what she will do if the question was describe yourself as a handbag. This is just a briefcase. Handbag will be something beyond that,
Yeah.
what we can imagine.
Briefcase is a little more intellectual, more organized.
It's a Gucci handbag.
Yeah.
Handbags, there's stuff just thrown in.
Yeah. At this moment, I'll.
No, that's not what a handbag is. Just to throw stuff in.
It's a statement.
Oh, no, it's way more than that.
Oh.
Right, Carmen?
The handbag.
A handbag.
Oh, yeah. That's
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen that box with Veda? He shown in the speech. This is something
my
inside the
handbag.
handbag.
Right, right.
This is my handbag,
Yeah.
so you know.
That's Gucci, right?
Gucci.
It
So
is
Waterproof,
It's
that's what
Coach.
we need right now.
Coach.
Coach.
Is it
Yes,
Coach?
Coach.
Is it Coach?
Well, there you go.
No, but it was a present actually. I didn't
No, it's
find.
good. No, you can buy it if you
There is-
want. It's
Oh yeah?
okay.
No, I don't know. I don't even know the brand.
All right.
I like it.
For the other gender, it's cars. Women is
It's cars.
For guys, yeah.
Shoes too. Women with
No,
shoes.
those kind of shoes that you can
Not
do.
the kinds that fly apart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For
At
guys,
this
it's
moment?
the whole garage.
Yeah. At this moment, I will call our president, Jean Symington Craig, to wrap up the meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. We have something important business we need to do, and that is Aaron Russell, who is fishing right now, has developed an opportunity for Toastmasters to be on the square for the next art walk on July 5th. Okay. Before he left, he was in contact with the person at the First Friday's Art Walk about nonprofits, is there possibilities like that? And she said yes, and she said if you would like multiple opportunities, we can do that as well. So, since Erin is out of town, I thought we just want to try to push that a little bit. It's not that we have to decide like right now, but it's a week. So I just wanted to get a sense of, I know Dee, you've got something you're already doing at Art Walk, right?
Yeah, my studio.
Yeah, yeah. But, basically, when Aaron gets back, the vision that I would have would be, we would have a table, and I didn't want to push him because I know he's trying to get out of town, but whether they provide a table for us, do you happen to know? Have you ever done that?
I've done things on the square, and it depends on who's providing the space and whether or not they have a table.
Are they gonna be, is the square gonna have booths in it?
I just don't, again,
I don't know.
so
They do.
if we don't have a table, we would have to get a table. But the idea would be there's a table, and then we all have some, period of time where we're there at the table and talking up Toastmasters, but also designing the table. What would we want to have on the table? What kind of materials would we want to hand out? And we can do this, July, August, September if we want.
Well, July Art Walk is usually the big one, isn't it? When
It's people.
Dick does that.
No.
No,
he does
he's not
anymore.
doing
not
that.
gonna do it anymore.
No, does not.
No. So, what do you think about that?
No, I think it's a good idea.
Any comments here from
If you can get enough people to do it, then people's commitment, I think half an hour per person. If you have people there longer, people might want to be out on the square doing things. Also, July 5th is probably with July 4th weekend. You may have less people there, but I think it's worth it to
You
try.
may have more people.
And you could have a time period where the table, if it's allowed to be in the square inside the Central Park itself,
Yeah.
then you could have a time period maybe where there's just brochures. If someone isn't happened to be there, at least people could see the table with a banner that says Toastmasters and some brochures. It's some exposure. I'm not sure it's going to be a major factor, but it could get a member or two interested. It's my feeling.
Aaron, the way he put it to the person, I forget her name, just said he's wanting to see about marketing. Now, he's our incoming vice president of membership. So this does fit in. It's a little bit of a hand in the hand also with the vice president of PR, that he's wanting to get this rolling.
If he cannot get a place within the Central Park, or if that's just something he gets this time, there are other times I could get places in front of a couple of different stores that I have some control over. In other words, there's a couple of stores where I could know the
You
building
could
owners.
put it in front of my store.
Yeah,
I'm like 5 steps from Revelations.
Right, that's another
It's a
place. So there's
busy-
plenty of
busy-
places to
yeah.
put a table, and maybe it rotates around different places each art walk.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, evidently the Art Walk people themselves
place.
have designated slots for nonprofits.
Great.
So free, always is good. And so what we'd be looking for would be, just 1 or 2 people to, I was thinking 2 people at a time.
Yeah.
And having it, and I don't know if it starts at 6 and goes to 10, but I was thinking an hour. I mean, an hour's not too bad.
Yeah, I think after dark it starts to become difficult. So I'd say it would be about
7 o'clock.
6 to
6 to
Eight.
9
yeah.
6 to 9,
at the maximum. And
Yeah.
and I would think
start closing up
people
after
would
9.
people would kind of rotate through, and I think one person could do it.
I just want it to look, and we're gonna let Aaron, because this is Aaron
Yeah, Aaron can.
developing it, and so he'll be here.
Do we have enough brochures and?
We do have, we
Okay,
we earned some stuff last year, don't we? And we were gonna,
With
quite a few
the new
things.
address or the old address?
They're not really marked with addresses.
Oh, great.
yeah. Yeah, so, just, I think it's a great, I think it's a good initiative that he's doing this. So I just wanna take the temperature of the room. Seems like people are, pretty good with it. We try it, see what happens.
The room is warm, actually.
The what?
The room is warm, actually.
The room is warm, like,
Yeah.
are you a little
Yeah.
too warm?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell Aaron that you said that when we were discussing this idea that it was quite warm.
You must
The
have
room was
gotten
quite warm.
Yeah.
pumped for the
Yeah,
idea. No.
it's free. And
It's free.
we just
a
try
good
that.
low-cost
And we'll
idea.
not.
It's a good low-cost idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll not lose anything. except-
No,
People-
no.
Just-
It's an opportunity just to talk and have people see that we're here.
If it works, we can have it every month or.
Yeah.
Well, this art walk is no, Dick's not doing it anymore, so, but it's still, in the summer, the art walks are pretty well.
Yeah, they're pretty well attended.
Attended, yeah.
Yeah,
It's, I think
And it's-
December, by the time December comes,
Oh.
we wouldn't
If
be
it's not
having
raining,
Oh.
if it's not raining,
If it's not raining.
yeah.
What
We
about
become
snowing? What about
furniture.
snowing?
It won't
There is
snow
no
in
art
July.
walk in winter.
No,
No, there is,
They
there
go
is.
through.
It's indoor
There
and
is,
nobody
but
goes there.
nobody's setting up tables.
Last year we had one in the church, I think, and it was everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of, it's just showing not just about Toastmasters, but it shows, hey, we're kind of fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
And we're good people, and, because I had a call today from someone who was not able to come tonight, but she is interested, is watching the videos. So I think our videos are getting some play, and people are wanting to, check in with us. All right, well, I think this is good. I just wanted to get a sense. So we feel like we could organize and come up with something with some coverage for Art Walk on the 5th. Anyone gonna be out of town? I mean, we're around. It'll make us go to Art Walk for sure. So that's it. We'll see you there next week. And where's the hammer? Where's the gavel? Guys, if you change your mind, nothing's on at the movies, don't wanna go, you let us know,
Just drop
okay?
through.
All right, meeting is adjourned.